set to restart July 30th in Orlando. There is plenty of debate these days on whether there will be an asterisk for whoever wins the title. Well, Steve Kerr made his stance quite clear. He said, quote, "The one thing I feel really strongly about is a championship under these conditions is going to count. People are going to want to put an asterisk next to it. There's no asterisk in my mind. This is going to be a brutally difficult journey to try and win a title." Nick, do you agree with Steve Kerr?
I almost fully agree with Steve Kerr. The reason I can't wholeheartedly agree with him is I try to be as honest as I can on this show and in life in general, but particularly on the show. Probably more honest on television than I am in real life, actually. That's a different story for a different day. The NBA is very different than any of our other major sports in America, which is underdogs never win the title in the NBA. Never. In fact, if I'm remembering correctly, only twice has a team ever won the title that wasn't one of the top 3 seeds. And both of them were the defending champions who just didn't have a great regular season. A Celtics team in the late 60s did it out of the 4 slot, and the Rockets famously did it out of the 6 slot the second year they won the title with Hakeem. The year Jordan came back, remember, but they didn't make the finals because he lost to the Magic, but we pretended it didn't happen. Not the point. So the point I'm making is this. If you have a team like the Grizzlies win the title, then I think people will remember it as the quarantine year, the COVID year, because that never happens in the NBA. But if the Lakers, the Clippers, the Rockets, the Bucks, the Raptors, the Celtics, the Sixers, any of the teams that under normal circumstances we would say are viable options to win the title, then I think adding an asterisk would be ridiculous because those are the teams that would be winning the title anyway. So, Wilds, unless we have something totally unforeseen happen, I don't think a team like Milwaukee, if they win the title, and they've been the best team all year, we should be like, well, how much does it really count?
Yeah, I agree, Nick. I'll give you 2 other reasons that I think could happen. The first is, like, if you think about the NBA, you think about NBA champions, just the visual when you're going through the montage of NBA champions and the confetti is falling down, this championship will look very different. It's going to be an empty arena. It's not going to look like this. So I think like the narrative is so formed by some of our great images that I think it's going to be weird looking. The second reason, Broussard, and you tell me what you think about this, is if a significant faction of players decide not to go, especially if a few stars decide not to go, we always talk about, I mean, Nick's going to lose his mind here. We always talk about LeBron won because Draymond missed that one game. But, like, if a significant amount of stars decide not to go, I think we could look back on and be like, yeah, but remember, that was the year that a number of players didn't play for a myriad of reasons.
Yeah, I'm fundamentally against the notion of the asterisk because every championship is different. And in the NBA, injuries have been a huge part of championships. But last year, we don't look at Toronto with an asterisk, even though Kevin Durant and Klay Thompson were hurt. We don't look at Golden State in 2015, even though Kyrie and Kevin Love were hurt, or even 2016 because Draymond was suspended, as you mentioned, Wilds. Heck, what about the 1970s, the early 70s, when Kareem won a title in Milwaukee and the Knicks won 2 rings? Half of the best players in the world were in the ABA. But we don't take away those titles and put an asterisk by them. So I'm against the asterisk. However, Nick, you made an interesting point, and so did you, Wilds. And here's what I'd say. What if LeBron and Giannis, and this won't happen, but if they decided not to play, or they got COVID and couldn't play, and the Clippers won, which would be obviously their first title